What's up, everybody? How's it going? Good morning. Welcome to Morning Wood. I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays, and we are brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. Don't forget to get yourself hooked up with the big old prize for all new accounts. You get up to $1,100 in first bet insurance. It's a really good deal. The link to that promo is in the description of this video, so don't miss out on that. Also, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. What's happening, Detroit Lenny?
Nothing. I'm not talking to you today.
Why?
We got beef.
We got beef today. We got beef. That's what we got.
I can't talk to you.
Sorry.
Tigers money line.
Really not different than any other day. So
that's fair. Tigers money line though. Now we have reason though. Now we have actual reason.
You do. I don't subscribe to that.
Tigers. Get on the Tigers. Tigers money line.
We do have a special guest today. It's Steve Kinsella. I don't know if you guys remember. He was on the show right at the beginning of baseball season. He is the national baseball writer for Sports Talk Florida, which is 8:20 a.m. WWBA Tampa and Orlando and Melbourne. And he can be found most weeks in the press box at Tropicana Field. He's a baseball writer for the Rays, so he will be in here in a bit to talk some baseball. That's what we're going to talk about. Hi, Michael Dose. Yes, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Drinko.
Did Terry LaJoy win last Woody?
You know what? I thought that there was a winner, and then I didn't look back over it. So, yes. I believe so. I just wasn't sure who it was. Yay!
Terry, winner, chicken dinner. I'll put something on the Facebook page. Then I didn't get a leg show or Silky Man last Woody yesterday.
I know. Are we sure they didn't? Because I know that, you know what? I didn't check the YouTube page for leg show. He would post it there.
I'm sure they'll be in here today, or they'll tell me so.
Yeah, they'll yell.
They always yell. For sure. They keep yelling. Tim Earle's still in it. Sean Austin's still in last week.
Holy shnikes. There's a tear in the fabric of the universe.
Opposite world. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 people left.
Wow.
And we're almost, and it's not even Friday.
Hey-o. Okay, we could maybe finish this puppy out by the week's end.
What?
Hold on. I'm just checking real quick. Morning Wood. Money should have been sent out. I know Alan Miles got his money, so if you guys were expecting money, it should be in your accounts now. So check it out, and if you didn't get it, let me know. Leg show had the Brewers run line, so leg show is in.
All right. I'll put it in.
I forgot to check that part. So, man, hockey last night was really good. I took Nick Earl's plays. I went 2-1. The Blues let us down. I know you were on them too. The Blues let us down last night. But that Bruins game, that Bruin-Carolina game, that was, what do they call it? Chippy? That was chippy. Watch it.
Here's what's going on in that game. That whole series. Their Hurricanes are like a level above Boston. And they know it, and Boston knows it, and they know the only way they're going to win that game is to be chippy. And they came out just swinging at the goalie, for Christ's sake. So,
I was watching that game with Josh, and then he brought up that Marty McSorley. When he whacked that guy in the head and he made me watch the video on that because it was such a chippy game. He's like, oh, you don't even know chippy. And then he showed me that video and I was like, oh my God, that is insanity. The way he whacked that guy in the head. I brought a tear to my eye. That was so sad.
It's definitely, Stanley Cup playoffs. No F's given. So it was pretty good. There was some good basketball on last night too. The Mavs just fell apart. I had the Mavs on a parlay.
I did not believe in those Mavs. I could not believe in them.
I took them with the points. Tim Earle might have talked me into it. I mean, I leaned that way. And I got him on a teaser, so I didn't really hate it. I had them, and they just pooped the bed. The last 8 minutes of that game, they just
like Amber Heard, just like Amber Heard,
like Amber Heard, like Yep, they just did. They did. They did not give 2 Fs.
Hola, mi amigo. Happy Cinco de Drinko. You missed us. It's okay. It was a crap show of a show anyway. Brian Dance, what's up? Just smashing the like button. We appreciate it. Tate the Great, trying to close out the day to get home for some fajitas on the grill and some margaritas. All right,
Absolutely.
all right. I've got to hit the old gym after this, and then I have a lunch date with my friend Chelsea, and we too are going to enjoy margaritas.
Nice.
So good luck, Nick, with free pick videos. I should be fun.
My internet's already out, Nick. I'm telling you right now. I can plan ahead.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. Or Drunk Alley will be there. Someone's going to be there.
Somebody that looks like her will be there. I don't know which alley you're going to get.
What happens.
It could be, 5 Deep Margarita Alley. That's a whole different alley.
Tequila Alley is a special kind of alley.
That doesn't come out often. There's
Drunk Alley, and then there's Tequila Alley.
It doesn't come out often. It's like, there's whiskey drunk Lenny, and then there's like moonshine drunk Lenny, and they're 2 different people. I like to call him Leroy. I like to call him Leroy.
That's a good name for him.
Yeah, Leroy and Alejandro is my that's 2 aliases. Alejandro and because when I want to drink Modelo or margarita or tequila, Alejandro comes out. When I'm drinking moonshine, Leroy comes out. And Leroy's a bad man.
Leroy sounds like a malt liquor guy. Leroy sounds like a malt liquor guy.
Leroy likes his Mickey's 40 ounces. Back in the day, you could get 3
those
for
with
$5.
The caps, and you get all your caps and the clues. I love those.
Yeah, you get back in the day when I was like in the early 90s, in my young 20s, it was you get 3 40-ounce Mickeys for $5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you need.
Remember the 32-ounce Miller High Lifes for 99 cents? Oh, I loved me a 32-ounce High Life for 99 cents. That was high school, though. That was like fake IDs in high school. Yeah, Josh, we like this game over. He likes the Tigers Astros under. We definitely like it over first 5 because we feel like Screwball and Woody are going to give up hits. Like, that's a given. This is not going to be a no-hitter at all. No shot at no-hitter. You put your last Woody in this morning on the Facebook page, just stopping by to say hi and smash the like. Well, I appreciate that, Lenny. May the 5th be with you. This is a different holiday, leg show. This is Cinco de Mayo.
I'm okay with the 5th being with me. The 5th of bourbon, I'm okay with that.
Ooh, may the 5th of bourbon be with you. I like that. Now we're talking.
What's Silky, up? We didn't get your last Woody yesterday.
Yeah, what was your last Woody yesterday, Silky? I know.
I appreciate you coming in today and giving it, but
we had a lot going on yesterday. I feel like we missed him because he was all over that chat yesterday talking with Jared and whatnot. So I'm sure he gave us a pick yesterday. We just missed it.
He probably gave us like 5, but
How many people in the Woody? We've got like 8, you said? 7 or 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 with Leg Show and Silky.
Okay.
That we somehow
got him.
So 10 still. Terry LaJoy won last week's.
Terry LaJoy, bringing me joy. I can't wait till she comes in here. She'll be so excited. I love me some Terry. Terry's a tough broad. She goes through her cancer treatments, and sometimes she'll miss the show because she's getting her stuff done or chemo done. And like, Terry is a tough broad, and I appreciate that you come on and watch the show and give picks. And I'm so happy you finally won a last Woody. So you get it, girl.
Absolutely.
You get it. Modelos after work. Okay, I'll have a Modelo and a margarita and a Dos Equis. That was actually made by a Belgian brewmaster, and a Corona Light. Okay, I'm ready.
I like a good Corona. I will drink Corona. Like my old boss, place I used to work was Solar. We drank Coronas a lot, and he had a 12-pack Corona just always in his office. Tate the Great, you don't want to hang with Leroy. I mean, I don't know many people that do. I don't want to hang with Leroy. My wife is very. She has a long leash when it comes to me, but it puts up with a lot of my trash junk. But Leroy is a hard no for her. There's a line like whiskey drunk Lenny, dumb decision, Lenny, whatever, that's whatever. She will, I will use the word allow, but she allows those Lennys to come out. But Leroy, he's only came out like twice, and they were deal breakers both times almost. So Leroy's bad man. But we have guests.
Yes, we have Steve Kinsella is here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's bring him on in. Steve, how's it going, friend?
How's everyone doing?
Rocking and rolling. It's nice to see you this time.
Yeah, the last time I was dealing with the work emergency and I was just frazzled. My hair was like all out to here and I had dirt all over my face from being out in the field for a little bit. So, sometimes I just I'm not presentable. I'll just keep it at that. You look great.
Yeah, man. I'm working on this whole sideshow Bob thing. I'm just gonna let it grow up and out,
His wife is really excited about it.
Yeah,
I get what's called a dandelion. That's what my hair looks like.
That's cute.
It just shoots straight out, and it was a bad day the last time I was with you guys, but it was good to get on and talk baseball and avoid the what I was going through. So, just work stuff, nothing major.
Fair.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you back. Yeah, Man City did choke yesterday. Props to Real Madrid, and I know Jared Nichols hit Benzema to score at plus 230. So great work on that. So Steve, we wanted to when I texted Jim yesterday, I asked if Ray Kinsella could come on the show, and he's like, "You mean Steve?" I'm like, "No, Ray. Oh, that's Field of Dreams."
That's Field of Dreams.
Well, if Ray could stop by too, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, I'm just saying. No offense, Steve. No offense.
I turn into Drunk Alley, and Lenny turns into Leroy. When you get drunk, do you turn into Ray Kinsella and see ghosts?
At times.
I mean, that's fair.
That was my desired response. That's what I wanted to hear you say.
So you'll fit right in.
Yeah, you'll be just fine. So how's baseball been treating you, Steve? How's anything to report, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I'm kind of upset with baseball. They're making it kind of boring with the dead ball. I mean, I'm like I'm the weird one now. I just like to have a pitcher strike a hitter out, or the hitter draw a walk, or hit a home run. And baseball doesn't want that. They want to have more balls in play, but these guys are so athletic. If that ball hangs up for an extra eighth of a second, their outfielders run it down, or this isn't like 1980 where you have like Greg Luzinski playing right field, and anything to the left of him by about 10 feet is going to fall for a hit. It's okay though. I mean, I'm enjoying all the different storylines. There's quite a few. The Mets are a great storyline so far.
Yeah.
With all the offseason work that they did. The Yankees don't have a huge injury list, and we're finally seeing that Aaron Boone's not a bad manager, but you can't handle, when you have 10, 12 injuries, it doesn't help you. The National League West has been fantastic. I mean, Arizona's got to be one of the surprises in all of baseball. Even just 500 coming from where the awful year they had last year. And what can we say? What can we say about Cincinnati? I mean, the owner's son's comments about what are the fans going to do, go somewhere else, because we're not spending money, and, got real flippant. And then they go on and lose 11 in a row. And what are they right now? 3-21. I think they're 3-21.
Bad.
They might have 4 wins now. I don't know if they won or not last night. They're awful.
Well, no, they didn't. They lost 18-4, I believe, to the Brewers.
Yeah. Okay. Roddy Tellez with his 8 RBI night.
Tim Earl said, speaking of him, because he's up in the chat, but yesterday he was on my show and he said the only thing you have to wake up every morning, fade the Reds, print your money. That's basically just the way to do it right now.
It's insane. It's a really bad team.
Going Deep is on the Facebook page, Robert. We don't do it on this show. We do it on the Facebook page. So how about the Rays? Anything to report with the Rays?
Yeah, they're it's good. When you look at baseball and you say, what you want is when your team's not hitting its stride, you want to play around 500 baseball. I think the Rays are 15-10 right now, and they're far from hitting their stride. The Brandon Lau is awful right now. Randy Arozarena is just as bad. G-Man Choi is on the injured list. They just haven't really hit their stride of what they can be. And they're 15-10. So that's what you like to see, because eventually, you figure the bats are going to wake up a little bit more than they have, at least consistently, hit better than they hit. They had a few outbursts that raised their numbers up, but so it's been good. I mean, it's nice to see Corey Kluber still missing bats. I think
my number one fader.
Yeah, I think he's got like a 16% swing and miss right now, or 14%, somewhere around there, which is good to see after all the injuries. Shane McClanahan's, I think he's around an 18% swing and miss guy right now, and I think he's around a 20-some% K rate. So right now, those two guys are really kind of like going 6-7 innings and carrying the staff. And right now, when you look at the Rays injured list, they're hoping to get Shane Baz back, Yanni Chirinos back. They just got Ryan Yarbrough back, although it was not a very pretty game. But that's the Rays situation.
All right. What do you think about I asked this to Cam the other day and then I never got his answer, but like getting hit with the ball. I know Chris Bassett came out and said MLB doesn't care. Hitters are getting beamed with this ball. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I've been on the first of all, let's start with one of the worst looks for Major League Baseball is having a player's hands get checked walking off the field. Okay, you ever see at the end of the inning, you go over, the umpire has to feel the pitcher's hands, and kind of it's akin to being pulled over for jaywalking, in my opinion. It's embarrassing. I don't like it. They're so worried about the sticky stuff that pitchers were using. Admittedly, pitchers were using sticky stuff to get more spin rate.
Right.
But baseball hasn't done anything to make a universal substance they can use. The rosin bag's not very good, so they made the ball slicker. They're limiting the sticky stuff you can use, and pitchers are throwing 94 to 98 or sometimes greater miles an hour, and they don't have pinpoint control of what they're trying to do because the ball is a little bit slick in the hand. So I've been on the side for like 2 years now of quit cracking down on the sticky stuff and come up with a sticky stuff rag that can go on the mound next to the rosin bag that's a little bit more tacked than a rosin, which is good for drying your hand off in heat and humidity, but not very good for grip, Right. So I'm on the side of the pitchers that want a universal sticky substance that they can use, because it's nasty to get hit in the hands or get hit in the shoulder or whatever, and pitchers need to have a little bit more grip. Yeah, that's my answer.
Anywhere. That was a really good answer. Thank you. I appreciate that. Michael Dost would like to know your thoughts on Bumgarner last night erupting.
Well, again, I would like to blame that strictly on the sticky substance.
What exactly happened there? Because we were live on the air when that was, so we were kind of reading it through comments, and then I never caught up on what exactly happened. So if you could give a little background real quick on that.
Yeah, Mad Bum, from what I understand, there are several calls that he did not like in the inning that did not go his way. So he was angry with the home plate ump anyways. And then when he comes off the field, the umpire, instead of just doing the quick courtesy hand swipe, kind of held the hand and, kind of reached around. Maybe he thought he felt something. Maybe he didn't. Mad Bum got kind of mad at him. The tensions were already high, and the umpire threw him out. He must have said a magic word. But again, Major League Baseball, again, if you're going to have the embarrassment of a guy getting his hands checked, and I believe that was the home plate umpire checking him, it should probably be the first base umpire that checks a player's hands. There's enough friction between pitcher and home plate umpire that you don't need the end of the inning friction to be on there. If Michael's still here, if he knows if it was a first base umpire and not the home plate umpire, then I'm wrong on that. But I believe it was the home plate umpire. So I think one thing Major League Baseball should be doing is having the first base umpire being the one that looks at a pitcher's hands, or the third base, depending on where the pitcher is going off to. That would be my solution, and let the home plate umpire do his job, which is call balls and strikes and deal with that.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't mean to jump in real quick, but when I saw the replay of that, and the umpire, like the way he held his hand out, there was some friction there for sure. Bumgarner held his hand out like, here, go ahead, check it. And the guy he was like feeling around on his hand, but he never looked at his hand. You could see the close-up of his eyes. He just stared at Madison, like eye to eye, like stared him down, like checking his hand, and just never looked at it. And then Bumgarner is like, it's like, you know, you can read lips, kind of like, and he was just like, man, F you. And the guy, and he's like, you're out of here. And obviously you can't say that to the ump, but the ump, like, if this was like a good old fashioned peeing contest, that ump was trying to win. And what's he like? There's got to be repercussions for that, because there is clear evidence. He never even looked at his hand. He's just feeling him and staring him down. Like, I think everybody needs to, like, in baseball, needs to understand their role, stay in their lane. Like, you know what I mean? I get that there's some maybe guys that take advantage of that sticky stuff, but like everybody's using it, you know? And I think the umpire tried to set a precedence there, and it was the wrong message.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, you've got a responsibility. I used to umpire. So, you know, you've got a responsibility to the game. Part of that responsibility, though, is keeping heads cool also. You know, like, you don't want to escalate situations. You don't want to have to throw people out. You don't want it to get to that point. And I think that's like, no one pays to see the umps. There you go, Jim Williams. But yeah, there's definitely a problem if the umpires are not part of the solution. That's kind of a problem. You would only cash on Benzema. Oh, if it was 90 minutes, he scored in extra time. Okay. Jared said he cashed on him. So there's that. Home plate ump had money on the Marlins. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. When you bet on baseball, right, Steve, or no?
I play the daily fantasy just for fun. You know, I mean, it's very interesting to me. And I'm realizing I can't stack a team to save my life. You know, although I did have the Brewers in a stack last night, but I also said, you know, Kichi is not going to shut that Yankee right-handed bats down. So I had 3 tickets with all Yankee 5 stacks, and I got kind of burned on that last night. So, you know, sometimes I do okay, but yeah, it's fun. I'm very interested in it. I like the math behind it and trying to figure out, you know, the ownership ratings and who's going to be a good stack, who isn't. You put the money on the pitcher or not put the money on the pitcher, and kind of looking at all those dynamics. It's a good mental exercise. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. That's kind of the fun part about handicapping, is handicapping other things too. You know, like, you can use that kind of knowledge in your everyday life also. Oh, shoot. So I know that you have a meeting in like 20 minutes or so here. So anybody in the chat who wants to ask Steve a question, this would be your time. Throw in any questions you've got. So what do you see? What hopes do you have, I guess, for the next round of baseball here, for the next month or so of baseball? What are you looking to happen in the future? I guess, did that make sense? Is that too broad of a question?
It is, but it isn't, because here's what we had. We had a short. I can handle the broad scope and micro it down. So, you know, initially the month of April, as a baseball fan and all baseball fans, it's been difficult to really grasp what's going on. You've got a different ball. You've got bad weather. You had the shortened spring training. You've got expanded rosters. The game isn't settled yet. It was very dynamic over the first month. You know, it's hard enough to lock in on a starting pitcher, but to have to lock in on 4 different pitchers, you know, a hitter right now might see 4 different pitchers in a game. So the rosters have been peeled back from 28. They've been peeled back, but you still have 14 pitchers. But starters are now out to 6-7 innings. Some, Carlos Carrasco, for instance, went 8 last night. Verlander and some other guys went have gone, you know, 7-8 innings. So now we're going to start seeing a little bit of a separation in some divisions and in some, you know, the good teams and the bad teams. You can't go the smoke and mirrors route with 4 or 5 pitchers in a game 4 days a week. You know, so now you're going to have worn down bullpens. You're going to have some weather heating up. Hopefully the ball doesn't continue to be as dead as it is, and we start seeing some home runs, because baseball, you know, you need home runs in baseball. It's fun. You know, it's a good moment. So
those unders have been cashing this season. Unders have been a real big deal this year.
Yeah. So here we go. We get to May. bullpen should get settled, rosters should get settled, and we should see some sifting out of some divisions, which will really set up the rest of the year. So, like in the American League East, Boston they need to make a push at some point. You're not going to lose a division in April or May, but you can certainly make it really hard for yourself moving forward if they don't, put some win streaks underneath them. Things have to settle out west. The Padres have got to find another hitter one way or another until Tatis Jr. comes back. Mookie Betts is heating up for the Dodgers, and that division, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, I think they'll separate themselves from the Rockies and D-backs, but that's something else to watch. And this Mets team is really deep. They're a very deep team, which will be very fun to see if they can continue putting distance between them and everybody. And then finally, one of the minor little thing to watch is, the Phillies and Joe Girardi really got to put something together, because people in Philadelphia are just worn out of all the excuses. Oh, we don't have a bullpen. We have injuries. They went out there and they got Schwarber, and they got Hoskins. They have Bryce Harper. They've got Nick Castellanos, and at some point that all that star power needs to translate into victories, or Joe Girardi is going to be looked at as, okay, Joe, maybe you aren't the guy to put this together. So I know it's kind of like we're not there yet, but I'm talking May and into June. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. So we have a couple questions in here. What do you look into when it comes to a baseball bet or parlay? How far do you think the Yankees will make it this year? And then Michael says, I know you're hating the deadening of the ball, but come June and July, I expect things to change and for runs to increase. So if you could kind of touch on those. So you don't bet. You're in Florida. You're not in a legal state anyway.
Right. So I can't help you.
In your job, you probably can't bet because of your job, right?
I can. I'm not with the BBWAA.
Oh, nice.
I'm not with Major League Baseball, and I'm good.
Nice.
So, but I'll leave the betting to the side. We'll leave that. I'm not very good at the parlay and all the betting stuff.
Okay.
And as to the comment, as June or July, you'd expect the ball to, you'd see the ball, some scoring to increase. Yes, I would expect some scoring to increase. The thing is, right now, scoring is at an all-time low. Home runs are at an all-time low since like 1958. It's about since 1968, the year of the pitcher. That's where baseball's reverted back to right now. And without a significant change in the baseball, even with a change in the weather, to get to where I want the game to be, which is more exciting as far as home runs, because I must be a Neanderthal baseball fan. It would take quite a bit, but we should get some more. We should get some more run scoring soon. As soon as the weather warms up, you naturally should, but I'm not sure if it's going to be as much as baseball needs.
How do you feel about how far does Steve think the Yankees will make it this year?
Okay. If we did a timeline between today and the end of the season, the Yankees will go as far as the injury list takes them. If they don't lose Severino, if they don't lose Jordan Montgomery, if they don't lose Aroldis Chapman, if they don't lose Josh Donaldson, Aaron Judge, at different times or all together or whatever, and they're not turning to Tyro Estrada in the outfield or anywhere, or they're not going to sign Rougned or trade for Rougned Odor to play second base. If they can keep what they have together, they're about as dominating as a team. I look at it in three facets. I look at offense, starting pitching, and relief pitching. The team is as good as anybody in baseball. And the only thing that's going to slow that team down will be injuries. So if they stay healthy, I expect them to win 95 to 100 games. Anything can happen in the playoffs, so we'll leave that aside. How far could they go in the playoffs? I don't know. But for now, that team is very special, in my opinion. I think Cashman did a nice job. I think Aaron Boone's the right man, in the dugout. But managing injuries has always been Aaron Boone's downfall.
That's kind of a big deal. You should talk to Steve Kerr. Michael Dose wants to know, do you see expansion happening in MLB? And most importantly, are the A's going to come to Las Vegas?
All right, expansion first. Yes, there's the expansion fee alone is what the owners are going to need to make up their COVID losses, if that makes sense. Okay, so you've got your COVID losses. You could probably guess that the expansion fee is going to be around $1 billion, to get into the game. You know, if you're a city, you want a team, it's probably going to be about $1 billion, 750 million, something like that. That gets split up among the owners. That's kind of their insurance, my opinion, to their COVID losses and moving forward. And I do think Major League Baseball wants to be a little bit more like the NFL long term in terms of 8 divisions, 4 teams each, 32 teams, you know, kind of regionally segment it up there. And then you have your playoffs based on you get your 4 division winners. There's 8 teams, and then you get a couple wild cards. And it's much easier than 30. 30 is a really weird number, 15 and 15, you know, and you've got the 6 divisions. 2 more teams really makes it a much nicer sport. 2 more teams also really increases offense in baseball, which is what they want, action. You have 2 more teams, you have 2 more pitching staffs, you have more diluted pitching. That leads to more run scoring. It's happened every time there's been expansion. Run scoring has really gone up, and that helps. The union should want it because that's 52 more jobs, you know, just on the major league side. Plus, it's, you know, on the roster side, that's 80 new jobs in baseball that are guaranteed major league union jobs usually when you're on the 40-man. Right. So, yes,
and there's farm leagues. They're going to need farm leagues too. So there's a bunch of jobs. Yeah.
And the other question was, what was the other question? There was expansion and
we want to know. Lenny and I both live in Las Vegas, and we go to the Aviators games. We want the A's to come to Vegas. Will the A's come to Vegas, or will anybody come to Vegas? We have warmer weather, which equals higher scores. Everybody knows that, Steve.
You know, I grew up, and I think I mentioned this last time, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. And the fatigue I went through as a young man, every year I was going to lose my Indians. You know, I was losing them. They were moving to Indianapolis. They were moving to Florida. They were moving somewhere, you know, and eventually the fan base, you know, what I'm seeing in Oakland right now is what I used to go, you know, games of 2,200 people. That was not absurd for me. I went to a lot of those games. One rain delay, and I was the only one left in the stadium a lot of times, you know. I'd wait out that hour and a half, and you look around, and honest to God, there might have been 20 people in the stadium, you know, for the rest of the game. So moving forward, then I moved to Tampa Bay, and I got this mausoleum. I like the stadium, by the way. The location is just absolutely horrible, and I go through it again. You know, the Rays are going to leave. They don't have a stadium. They need a stadium. It's fatigue. You look at what's going on in Oakland for the last 20 years with the stadium. The fatigue has got to be absolutely incredible in Oakland. So I think we're now at a push point. You know, they need to either get that stadium done or it needs to be moved. And Vegas would be a great place to move a team that they have the infrastructure in place. They've got the transportation. They've got the hotels, of course. They've got the I think it's Cook County. Is that correct? What's Clark. The big county in Vegas?
Clark
County. Cook County is in Illinois, I believe. Clark County. It's a pretty big county.
Cook County is the Blues Brothers, Chicago, Illinois.
That's what I'm thinking of. Cook County property appraisers or whatever, clerk of courts where they went. Anyway, the fatigue has got to be setting in Oakland in a major way. We're seeing it now. People say, well, they traded away all their players. That's why the attendance is bad. No, that team was 15th in baseball in the American League last year. Dead last in attendance when they had all their players. They've only been below they've only been within the top 10, I think, once since like 1988. You know, they're usually 11th to 15th. So that's not the issue. It's not the talent on the field. But if they are going to move, I could see Vegas being the prime location. But I think right now they're at a point where we should know rather quickly. It can't go on any longer at all. It just can't. What we're watching can't go on.
I mean, when I went to the Aviators or Las Vegas's ball, I'm sure you know, but they're the A's affiliate. And I went to the game and I didn't know anybody on the team because they all play for the A's, or Jorge Mateo's an Oriole now, but Sheldon Noisey's on the A's. But then you look at the A's roster and you're like, you kind of just have a AAA roster happening right now. You know, like these guys, and Sky Bolt, he's the other one. Like they were good AAA players, but I wouldn't call them major leaguers. And now that's who's on the team right now. So I don't love this. This is a really fun question. If runs stay low, could they lower the pitching mound height? Is that an option?
Yeah, I don't think that will be an option. You know, I don't think they're going to lower the mound. They're they're going to try other things. Right now, Major League Baseball, last year, I don't know if your audience knows, last year, Major League Baseball used 2 different baseballs. One was like a jackrabbit ball and one was a dead ball, and you just didn't know what game was getting which ball. This year, they're coming from
a jackrabbit ball?
Ball that flies, a little bit, it has more carry. We're talking the difference in carry of about 10 to 12 feet is what we're talking, the rate, the height of the seams could be different on each ball, giving more air drag. So it's kind of like you see a ball that hits the alley and it's like, man, that thing's crushed. And then it just like a Frisbee just kind of dies. It's because the air drag hit it and just basically knocked it down. We're seeing a lot of that right now. Right. So what baseball can do is continue to tinker with the baseball. And that would kind of help everything.
I saw this. I posted it on my Facebook that the Staten Island Fairy Hawks started the first woman to play at the professional level, Kelsey Whitmore. I think that's awesome. When I went to umpire camp in College Station, I had Emma. I can't think of her last name, but she's one of the first female umpires. So yeah, let's go, girls. Let's go. Let's play some ball. What's up, Dominique? Ricket Picks says they don't need to change the game of baseball. Pitchers need to eat also. I was not a killer umpire. I didn't ever want to do plate. I wanted nothing to do with plate. I liked being out in the field and doing that kind of stuff. But once you get enough line drives whiz past your face, like, I'm pretty. I don't need this. I'm good. I don't need a baseball down my throat today. Thank you.
Yeah. But just a little fun anecdote to the side of a story. You had mentioned the first woman to play professional. That's in the States. There have been professionals in other countries. Australia, they've had women play and stuff like that. Minor leagues, it's professional. They've had women play before. When I was at Cleveland Heights growing up, and I was a coach of the summer league baseball team. This is how far society has come, which is a good thing. And this was 1989. And one of my pitchers was a female. Her name is Justine Siegel. She's very, very popular. She threw batting practice to several MLB teams. She was an assistant coach in several teams. She's kind of the first woman to be in this position in Major League Baseball. And I got to tell you, I had a number of parents threaten to pull their kids off the team if I allowed this woman to pitch. I call her a woman because she was 18 or 17 at the time. Mm-hmm. And it was very disturbing to me that the game of baseball that their kids are playing was being diminished by having a female on the team. Like she was supposed to go play softball while the men play baseball. And it just, and ever since then, I've always said, there's nothing stopping a woman from playing minor league baseball. It's never been, if you want to sign them, let them play, come up, see what they do, and I'm glad that this female is out there playing and giving it her best. And there's no reason that, the only reason that a woman shouldn't make it in baseball is because she can't make it. She's on the team, she earns that. And then if she doesn't perform like anybody else, you can let her go. But yeah, that was that was 1989. So we're a little bit removed from 1989, but I'm glad to see that progress is being made in baseball.
Yeah, when I umpired, it was the umpires who were in my organization, SNOA, were super supportive and all about building me up and teaching me and learning the ropes. There's really nothing they didn't think I could do, but it was the coaches. And this is high school baseball. The coaches really did not like having a girl out on the field. Some of them were cool, but actually Bryce Harper's coach, Sam Thomas, was my first game I ever umpired was on Harper Field at Vegas High School. And Sam Thomas was one of my huge, huge supporters. But there were other guys that, I would literally get in my car after a game and cry. Like they were so freaking mean to me. So, we're definitely still in that it's a man's world. But I would definitely say it's moving forward because I got tons of support from a lot more of the guys than I didn't. J-Rock says a different ball for different games. No way, that would ruin betting because you wouldn't have any idea what ball is juiced in what game.
Well, the thing is, that's not a J-Rock. That's not a conspiracy theory, and that's not a suggestion. That's what baseball did in 2021. it's not a everybody. It's in Major League Baseball's talked about it. The pitchers have talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. It's not a this isn't a theory that we're throwing out there. That
this is real life.
It's real life. I mean, the balls came from two different plants. Some were wound tight, some were wound loose. They all pass the dynamics. I can get into the dynamics of a baseball. I am an engineer, and I don't think you guys want me to talk about air drag, seam raises.
Next week we do. Can you come on next week with a diagram and a PowerPoint presentation? I would love to break down a baseball.
Absolutely not. I try to keep my engineering job and the baseball. I try to keep separate as much as I can.
That's fair. That's fair. Rickett says in Babe Ruth about 30 years ago, we had a girl. Oh, in Babe Ruth League. Okay. Not
got you, Ricky.
Yeah. 30 years ago, we had a girl at second base, and she was the scrappiest player on our team and didn't bother any of us at all. Happy to see it, and more and more. I loved Oz Sailors. My umpire gear used to belong to Oz Sailors, and she was a badass chick. How do we get youth interested in it? It's 1:40. Do you need to go? I know you have a meeting.
I have a few more minutes.
Okay.
I got a few more.
I don't want to keep
I got a few. No, it's
we'll
okay.
talk baseball until 2. So don't get us wrong. How do we get the youth interested in MLB? I know from having kids, they just aren't interested in the game like I was as a kid. I take them to minor league games because those are freaking fun. What's your thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, as I got older, I realized that my love of baseball initially started. I look back on it now because the way I watch baseball now has nothing to do with when I used to love it in the 80s and 70s. I used to love baseball a different way, and that was I played the game. All day long, I played the game. I was emulating the players on the field, and I wanted to improve my game, so I watched the game at night. I would watch like Corey Snyder and Tom Verizon and Dwayne Kuiper. I know these are some really weird names. They're not the big names. My favorite player was Pete Rose. So of course, I ran like hell at all the time, and I got a little older, and Ozzie Smith became my favorite player. So of course, I took 1,000 ground balls a day. So if you want to get kids interested in the game, you really have to allow them. I don't know how many parents drop their kids off at a field to play from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and a couple jugs of water. I mean, I used to freeze a 2-liter bottle of water at night so it would get into a brick of ice, and then we drink that and go to a neighbor's hose and kind of fill it up as it kind of evaporated and stuff like that. That was like 9-10 hours a day in the summer times. And then, of course, the nighttime was all about watching the games to find out what these guys are doing. And you kind of then you get on the field, you imitate their batting stance and stuff like that. That good. All right, Alan, you got it. So, yeah. Again, the Indians players from the past were hilarious. Some great characters. I think in my neck of the woods, the Indian player that everybody used to emulate was Mike Hargrove. And, boy, our games took forever when we did the human rain delay stuff we did. But I don't know, if you want to get kids involved, they got to let them play.
Yeah.
I mean, and not just
nobody wants to watch baseball. Okay. You got to let them play baseball.
I mean, how many kids right now? There you go, J-Rock. How many kids now know the game where you put the bat out, and one guy grabs it, the next person grabs it, the next person grabs it, and then you have to do this, and then you got to cup your hand over the top of the bat, and whoever can cup their hand over the bat and touch all the fingers down there, that's who got the hit first. And that's how we used to play. Yeah, JoJo. I know all those late 80s Oaklands too.
Yeah, mine was the Astros. I was the Astros back then. That's who I grew up with.
There, I know the Astros as well. I got a great Astros story, but maybe another time.
So we do want to know the engineering side of baseball. So is there a time maybe you could just Cliff's Notes it for us in a week or so?
My engineering job is
time now.
I'll just clear it up right now. The engineering part of me is not in baseball at all. I do petroleum cleanup. Right. That's my job. That's the engineering part of me. Baseball is just writing about baseball and covering the game.
Right.
I'm not an engineer for the rigs.
Of the baseball. But you alluded to knowing the engineering of the baseball. So
yeah, it's like basically there's like a coefficient of resistance, where every ball has to pass a certain threshold, in the lab. And baseball has parameters, just like if you buy like a meat thermometer, it'll say that there's a plus or minus, tolerance on it. So every baseball is tested for certain things, seam height, coefficient of resistance, and a few other things. And if it passes, is good, but some balls pass at a lower level and some balls pass at a higher level. Like if you have a higher seam height, I believe the ball flies further. If you have a lower seam height, the ball will, have the higher drag, so that's a little bit different. So also the balls are all being put in a humidor this year in all 30 parks. Last year, there were only 10 parks that had a humidor, and the humidor will work in one of two ways. It'll either increase the distance a ball travels based on relative humidity, or it'll decrease the distance a ball travels. And baseball's working through all that right now. So that's some of the engineering going on. Humidors, the seam height of a baseball, and the drag of the baseball. These are the three kind of things that are kind of working right now.
All right. I didn't know it was all 30. I remember the 10, and then the Rockies did that for a while, didn't they? Just because of their altitude. Yeah. So I knew about that. Oh, I love me some Nolan Ryan. Loved Nolan. I have two friends in Texas, and their names are Nolan and Ryan. That's what their mother named them. I think that's great. Ripplinger. What's up, Nolan and Ryan Ripplinger? It is the StatCast era makes the games more interesting. If you understand the science behind it, Sabermetrics has made capping A, more work, and B, so much more fun. So there's that. All right. Well, anything else to report, Steve? Anything we just have to know before you go? We really appreciate you coming on. We want to have you back more often.
Well, let's just see how things play out. I think the next big change in baseball, as far as rosters are concerned, is in about a month. We got to go down to 13 pitchers. So for a little while, right now they're allowed to carry 14, but in about 30 days or about 27 more days or so, whatever it is, June 1st, it'll be down to 13 pitchers max. So we'll see some roster shuffling and stuff like that.
Are they doing that because of the shortened spring training?
Yeah, originally they increased the rosters to 28, and they were going to go to 26 with a maximum of 13 pitchers, which is what they've been trying to do. But the union and the union in Major League Baseball decided, let's go down to 14 pitchers for health.
All right. So that's really good information to have, everybody. Let's put that into our brains and remember it 27 days from now, we're going to have shortened pitching rosters. The seam height also gives pitchers a better advantage with the spin rate. Yeah, absolutely. So how does it get divvied out? Like the high seam ball, the low seam ball? Does everybody get like 50 balls, 25 of each? Or does some parks get these and some parks get these? Or is it just a crapshoot?
We don't know, but one of the nice things is we have, if you ever go to a game early, you may see a collector at batting practice. And there's actually like a society of people that will go to a batting practice and get like 9 or 10 baseballs, from batting practice. And then they'll get them to a lab and they test everything. So you can kind of see the differerences and stuff like that.
Popcorn balls. Did you ever call them popcorn balls?
I know what a popcorn ball is, but.
Yeah, popcorn ball. It's when you're at your little league game or your high school game, and then you get all the little kids to go get the balls that get hit out of the park, and they bring them back to the concession, and they get a bag of popcorn for them. Popcorn balls. Bring out the juice balls. I know I'm of that school too. Of like, I want hits, I want runs, I want all of these things. Like, juice those suckers. Let's get that ball out of the park. From that Mississippi mud on baseballs too. Yeah. Well, as you can see, we've got a pretty deep baseball crew on this show. We really a lot of umpires are in here, a lot of baseball coaches in here, from all over the country and the world, I would say. We bet KBO, we bet Japanese baseball. So we really like baseball. We would love to have you back on whenever you're free. So thank you so much, Steve Kinsella. Can they follow you on Twitter or anything like that?
If you want. I'm not too active on Twitter, but I'm at Steve_Kinsella1. My name somewhere on here.
Steve_Kinsella1. Boom. Mm-hmm. Like that?
There you go. Wow, look at that. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Good.
I'm more sometimes I'm active, but a lot of times I'm just not there too often.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, if you guys want to follow Steve, this is where to do it. We'll have you back on the show in a while. Thank you so, so much for stopping in. We really appreciate your time and all that great information. Thank you, Steve.
Well, thank you. And thank your audience. That was some great stuff. I loved it. Thank you very much.
No problem. Anytime. All right. Have a great day. Enjoy your meeting.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was good stuff, wasn't it? We had he says, thank you, Steve. You were amazing. When I pitched, I always threw balls out that I didn't like the seams on. Are you allowed to do that? Did they check your hands? Lenny, what did you think of Steve? You want to come in here?
Steve's a good dude. Lots of good information there.
Yeah.
I like the sports writer part of it, thought process, as opposed to, we're all betting on it and stuff like that. And he looks at it from a different angle. So I enjoy that stuff. I did know that about the balls last year. I thought everybody knew that, though. There was just different balls in different places, and they were just sent randomly, and nobody ever knows what they're using, kind of thing.
I never knew that. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
It's not, there's so much science behind that. I mean, to me, like, there's different plants and where they get the different thread and different leather and different whatever. And, it's like, analysis paralysis. Sometimes I think we can overanalyze stuff. So I think I see Ricketts' point. Those pitchers need to eat too, but for runs, it's, more runs, more fans, I think, get into it. But I personally, I enjoy a good 1-0 game. I enjoy the 1-0 game. So
Zlo is back. Your favorite pizza topping is probably olives, and Zlo is still wrong. I hate olives. I can't stand olives. But I literally like almost everything else on pizza. What's your favorite pizza topping? It's pineapple, isn't it?
It's definitely not. It's ham and mushroom. Ham and mushroom.
Mine. I like pine nuts.
Preferably magical mushrooms, but they taste, but I'm just saying.
Like, where's your talk later?
I'm just saying. 1-0 Reds. Stop it, Cincinnati. Stop it right now.
More runs equals more fans. I enjoy a pitcher's duel, but home runs sell tickets. I like it both ways. I mean, the game is the game. You know when you're going to watch a game that's going to be a pitcher's duel, and when you're going to watch a game that's going to just be, a balls out of the park kind, balls to the walls kind of a game, balls over the walls kind of a game. I like it both ways. When people say I can't watch baseball, it's too slow, I just tell it, like, you're watching it wrong, man. Like, watch the pitcher, quit watching that bat, watch what the pitcher's doing. I was watching the Tigers game yesterday, and I went to the gym after the show, so I put it on. How they do like the scorecast on ESPN, and you can see the strike zone with all the things. So I luckily turned it on when they were down 2-0, and they had 2 on, and then Baez came. They went ahead 3-2 in the 5th, and I'm like doing my elliptical, like, go Tigers, go Tigers, freaking out. But I like to watch it that way to see where the balls are going, and
Nick Earl had a good chart on Game Time yesterday that showed, like, for like percentage of scoring, like if you got a person on first and second and there's 1 out, as opposed to if there's first and second with 2 outs, the percentage of the team would score. And it was like a little chart, and it was really good. And I love stuff like that. I'm the numbers guy, so I want to know, like, okay, wait, there's a 30% chance now because there's 2 outs, as opposed to there was a 60% chance when there was 1 out, and this and that. So whatever. It's pretty cool.
I like to do that with sports betting, like in the live in play. I'll just keep notes of, okay, with 1 guy on and 1 out, this number is now this. And then when 2 guys are on, or now there's 1 on with 2 outs, and how their live in play numbers are moving. So I'm trying to find like the best spot to get on some, you know what I'm saying? Like I do that kind of thing too. There's just so much information. I'm just interested in the baseball and the mechanics of it, or the engineering of it, not even for sports betting purposes. 3-0 Reds, things are happening.
Yeah.
Washington football team. I mean,
here's what's happening. Lenny's looking at betting the Brewers money line right now.
I'm not. I mean, that lose streak's got to come to an end. You just let the Reds do their damn thing right now. If they want to win a game, you let them win their game.
I'm not letting them win shit. I'm telling you right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Never mind. I take that back.
Brewers plus 120 money line. Run it.
Brewers plus 120. That's not enough for me.
I'll take it.
J-Rock says, looks like Hauser is going to go Darvish, people. Well, if he had the hair up here, he would have his crap together, but instead he looks like a mud rat. I love watching fielders shift from pitch to pitch, and Kelly saying, why did that guy move over there?
Yes, Mandy, same thing.
Move over there.
The best baseball story I have is Mandy watching baseball with me going, why can't that guy see? Like, he didn't see that the ball was out of that square? And I'm like, babe, they can't see the square in real life. That's not just the TV. And she's like, and then I had to explain the yellow line in football.
I was going to say, tried to explain the line of scrimmage to my mother, Sherry Angelica, who you know and you know well. Oh my. Well, how did they
I see that argument. I could see that argument happening.
Yeah. She's like, well, how do they keep moving that line? Does someone come paint it? I'm like, there's not a real line. It's like
someone come paint it. Yeah, the guy, it's like tennis. He just runs out and can spray paint across the field. And then the other guy comes out and wipes it off.
Her head. Yeah, could not wrap her head around that at all. You really do appreciate baseball again after watching this show. Thank you for that. You are welcome, guys. I'm trying to book in as many cool guests as we can. So every day you guys come on and we've got some good. Tomorrow, tell them, Lenny. I know you're excited. Big day.
Horse guy's coming on. James is his name. I think maybe he goes by Jim. I've only met him through email. So Jim Williams, shout out to you. He hooked us up from Winners and Winers with Steve. He's hooked us up with the horse guy now. So he's got some different the Derby Saturday. Little change of things in the last 24 hours for the Derby. The weather report's coming out, and we're getting closer, and there's possible rain. Now we might have some mudders in there. And a mudder is a horse that runs very well in the mud. I mean, there's some handicapping to horses, so it definitely goes on. With Tim Moreau, he's so excited about WNBA.
I am too. I'm really excited about it all.
But I'm excited for the Derby on Saturday, and I'm excited for our guest tomorrow. And be nice to him, guys, in chats. His first show he's ever been on. He's a little hesitant about it, and I'm like, oh, Morning Wood.
Yeah, you're fine.
These jackasses, you'll fit right in, dude. Don't worry about him. Yeah, I'm like, come on in.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You know, we're just going to talk horse. We're going to degenerate about some horses tomorrow. We're going to pick some winners.
Study up for that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to look into I'm going to do my research tonight so I know what the hell we're talking about tomorrow on the Derby show.
And you Woodies too, you do your homework. Come in with some questions that we can ask this guy, and figure if you want to bet on the Derby, let's freaking do it.
I think we should have. Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. We all are. I proudly wear that title. I'm pretty sure, like some of you, if you've seen the new Jackass movie, some of you would do some of the stunts that they did.
There's a new Jackass movie.
Yeah, yes,
it's on Cusick, the WNBA queen, my part lady.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's on.
Take a picture of that.
I watched it randomly. Mandy was like, whatever. I just find it hilarious, but but yeah, the Derby, definitely tune in tomorrow for that. The show. I think we should all pick a winner. We should have a I don't know how we would have a Derby. How would we have a Derby contest?
Ooh, I don't know how we would do it. How do we? Adios, amigo. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Feliz cumpleaños. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. I think that all plays here.
Yo quiero taco.
How would we do it? Oh, it's almost 11.
I'd have to think. Let's think about that. We're all brainstorm. Okay. We got 2 days to figure that out.
Okay. Oh, I did start the Going Deep contest today. Going Deep is over on the Facebook page. If you guys want to enter that, it's only baseball. Still have 6 left in the playoff chaos. You're right, Lenny. They don't read for shit. There's like 4 rules. Playoff NBA or NHL, 1 pick.
No, somebody will put in a WNBA pick
tomorrow.
Baseball
in there. I got I got a side. I'm like, all right. You know what? I wonder how many people, if we made a contest and the prize was you have to cut off your own hand and eat it. You cut your own hand off and eat it. I bet 50 people would still jump into that.
I'm going to put a contest on Facebook, not now, but soon, probably within the next 30 days. And it's going to be like, tell me what rule number 3 is. And that's going to be the only rule of the game, of the damn contest, and see how many people throw a baseball side out.
We could pick a box. We could pick a box trifecta or something like that. Everyone pick your best box.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work.
Canelo, Oliveira, Thug Rose. That's what Marcos Hammer is doing. No Russian table tennis picks allowed. No, not in this contest.
That's rule number 4. But rule number 2 is you have to read number 4.
Right. No kidding. Huh? Okay, they can't even remember what they picked the day before. Yeah, I expect them to. Following directions and reading the directions are two. You can't follow the directions if you never read the directions.
It's my favorite. That's my favorite. I think I'm still in. Take this on this spread.
Is Dominique Thomas in?
No, it's a total contest.
Yeah. That's just it. I don't barbecue. Okay, so let's do the quick rundown. We got to close things out. Don't forget about the deal with Caesar Sportsbook. The promo, you'll find the link in the description of this video. All right, it's up to $1,100 and first bet insurance. So click on that. It's for all new accounts. Get yourself hooked up with Caesar Sportsbook. I know I am. I like Caesar Sportsbook. I'm not mad about them at all. I actually need to put more money into that account. Damn you, Drunk Alley. Damn you. Like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and don't forget about the Morning Wood Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. That's where the Going Deep contest is. That's where the Total Chaos playoffs contest is. That's where all that stuff is, and you can win free t-shirts over on the Morning Woody Facebook page. So get hooked up with that. Don't forget, every day on the Max Wagers Network, our daily lineup. We're starting with Higgs, midday money, tons of baseball props at noon Eastern. You guys cruise in here with me. Last Woody Standing starts every Monday. Don't forget about it. Just Parlays is where you're going right now with Chris King. Then you'll cruise into Back to the Window with Scott and Scott at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on their show tomorrow. Scott Miller's soccer show, his World Soccer show, is on at 4 Eastern. He also did a Formula One racing show, which I posted on the Morning Woody Facebook page. And then Game Time Decision with Lenny and the Twins at 5 Eastern. That rounds out your day of max wagering on our network. See, I listen. There we go. I think my YouTube page is frozen up on me. Where is everyone? Oh no.
I think we froze for a second.
Yeah, we may.
I thought it was me, so I popped myself out, but it might have been you. I don't know. It might have been just YouTube. I don't know.
He said, Lenny, you spoil us too with the standings on HC and Facebook. Thought you're only doing it Mondays.
I don't know. During the week is easy. It's the weekend. Last week sucked just because I was dying. You know, I got a head cold and I'm a baby. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I got a tickle. You know, I'm like, and then I'm dying. It's the end of the world.
Brian Dance, we got you. Danny Daniels is still in. And then
I get your Woody pick.
Dominique is out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Dance, I have you. I just took a screenshot of it too. I'll do it.
Dom, I have you out. And then congratulations to Terry LaJoie.
What's Danny Daniels' pick?
I'm not sure. He had put it in somewhere at the top. I can text him for it though. I'll get it.
All right.
Okay, bye guys. We love you. You guys have a great day. Good luck to everybody. And good luck unless you're against Lenny.
Go Tigers.